Joined live on the Splash by an active real estate agent right here in the West Bloomfield community, Christin Peeples. Thank you so much for joining us first and foremost.
Thank you for having me.
Christin, I want to get straight into this article we saw on yahoo.com that says home ownership costs has jumped 26%. I think about $18,000 more dollars since the pandemic. With your expertise in the West Bloomfield area, what have you seen in the change in price and demand in the West Bloomfield housing?
Well, I can tell you right now, obviously in the West Bloomfield market, it is still a seller's market. It is still very hot in terms of sellers getting either asking or above. You're still seeing multiple offers. So we're still seeing that scenario going on. Definitely. You just want to make sure that the buyers are prepared, make sure that they're pre-approved, and make sure that they're ready to go. And obviously, if you're buying in the West Bloomfield area, you have to be ready to make a decision like right away if you see a home that you like. But yes, 26% increase in medium houses. The prices are about 410,000. So and obviously, the more bedrooms, the more you're going to see more of an increase. So you're seeing up to 50% of an increase, like up to 5 bedrooms.
Okay, so now we're getting into the big crunch of the information and what's going on. 410,000. We said medium home prices right here in our community, and which means it has risen since the pandemic. Yes. So that also goes to talk about what we're talking about with this article. What are the most common concerns with some of your clients regarding the rising cost of home ownership?
So a lot of them they're waiting for prices to come down on the buy side. So I'm 50-50 buyer seller. Yeah. And on the buy side, for whatever reason, you have some buyers thinking that prices are going to, come down. But then you have some buyers that are realistic and knowing that this, with our school systems, with everything that we have to offer in West Bloomfield, they're willing to go ahead. And the buyers that are really serious, they're making sure that they're prepared to put that offer in and making sure that they're competitive with their offers.
Trust me, as someone who was literally actively searching for a home to buy, as the spring started to open, I saw the market open up. I saw more buyers come out to play and put more negotiations on the table too. So as the weather starts to get better, people travel, people also want to search for those homes. So this is a very high in demand season also, just to put that into perspective. But joining us again right here on the Splash, real estate agent in the greater West Bloomfield area, Christin Peeples, talking about the rise in home ownership, more than 26% since the pandemic, and how it's affecting the West Bloomfield area. What strategies are you recommending for some of these newer home owners, especially first-time home owners, to try to budget for these unexpected home costs?
So my suggestion, obviously, there is the NAR settlement that's going on right now where, and that entails buyers having to pay the buyer's agent. So my suggestion if you want to buy into the West Bloomfield area and you don't want to have to deal with, paying commission for that agent, you may want to get out there now before mid-July-ish when this is supposed to go down. Also, again, it's so important if you're a serious buyer, make sure that you're pre-approved. Usually agents, we refer our clients to reputable mortgage loan officers. You want to also make sure that you have your savings together. You want to make sure that, and you're prepared that, you may have to put a little bit more down right now because the market is so hot. Yeah. But remember, you are investing not only in purchasing in West Bloomfield, but this is an investment for a lifetime. And so I love living in West Bloomfield. Sure. I'm a West Bloomfield, not only an agent, but I'm a resident here, long time, almost 20 years. Raised my children through the school system. It's an excellent community to grow up in.
There you go.
And just to live, so it's an investment. So make sure that you're giving it your all. If you have an agent that you're working with, make sure that you're listening to their expertise. If they're saying, hey, you may want to, be more competitive in your down payment, the earnest money deposit that you put up, that also shows good faith and that you are really serious about buying. So it's all about being prepared and being ready to compete.
Correct. You're saying it, you're hitting the nails on the head, and I'm glad you're saying it as the professional right here on the Splash Live, because if I say it, they're not going to listen to me, Christin. Okay, so there's another part of these home payments, home ownership, the mortgage altogether, that kind of affects the payment and the cost, right? Principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, right? And we're
Yes.
not even talking about cable, internet, all the other stuff, landscaping. How have you seen the change in property taxes and home insurance premium, premium insurance change in West Bloomfield, and how that has affected the real estate market also?
So I'll tell you again, West Bloomfield is hot, so people are willing to pay the premium. But I also sit on the tax board here in West Bloomfield as well. And what I always
Okay.
tell my clients, because I don't want them to be surprised, and this is going to be a nugget of wisdom. So hopefully your listeners are taking notes of this. That
Come
the
on.
taxes depend on how long the previous owner has lived in that house. So, say for instance, if someone has lived
Right.
in that house for 30 years, each house is going to be different, but they were capped at that
Hmm.
30 years in terms of the taxes that they're going to
Right.
pay. And so
Mhm.
it breaks my heart when I see people, when agents don't share that information with their clients, and they come in and they're trying to figure out why their taxes went up so high. It's because that previous owner
Hmm.
had lived there so long that they were capped 30, 20 years ago. And so I always tell people, we look at the seller's disclosures, not only just to see any defects with the home, but also understand, okay, how long has this person lived here? How long have they owned this home? Because
Right.
that is going to
Hmm.
dictate what your taxes are going to be. So again, if someone's been living in a house for 2, 3 years, maybe even under 10 years, your taxes are going to go up because, by the rate of inflation. But
Right.
at the same time, if someone's lived there for a long time, then be prepared for maybe even a triple increase in the taxes.
Ooh.
And I have seen that,
Ooh,
and it's
Kristen,
very, very
triple.
sad. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. That you might have hurt some hearts right there. Joining us right here on the Splash, Christin Peeples, active real estate agent and successful real estate agent and West Bloomfield resident right here in the greater West Bloomfield area, talking about the rise in home ownership costs since the pandemic, specifically right here in our area. I know we got to kind of wrap up, and I can pick your brain about a lot more. Any other key information that you want to give out to buyers potentially looking to come to West Bloomfield, or sellers looking to leave West Bloomfield with the housing market here?
So for the sellers, obviously, it's a win-win for you, because you can get a premium for your home right now. And for the buyers, there are some first-time home buyer programs that are out there, depending on the lender
Right.
that you work with. So don't be afraid to go after the home of your dreams. And again, with the interest rates, I always tell my clients this:
Mm-hmm.
marry the home, date the rate. You can always
Date the
refinance.
rate.
So do not be afraid to buy your home right now because of interest rates. Interest rates they won't probably go down as low as they were before during the pandemic, but they are lowering. So keep
Never.
your eye on the rate. Buy that house now. You may have to pay a higher mortgage now, but at least you're in the home of your dreams, and you can always refinance.
Hey, Kristen, once again, like I said, if I would have said it, I know this information, but if I would have said it, it would have just rolled right off the shoulder. But because it's coming from a professional, a successful real estate agent, and a resident of West Bloomfield, it means so much. Again, thank you again for joining us. Christin Peeples, real estate agent in West Bloomfield, talking about the rise in home ownership costs since the pandemic. We appreciate your time and information.
Thank you for having me.